Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Happy Valentine's Day, or the week of Valentine's Day. If you're joining me, then that means that you're here for a Valentine's Day look, and I wanted to do something that was very affordable, something that won't break the bank, and I ended up using my E.L.F, my Nude Rose Gold E.L.F palette that has a ton of beautiful purple shades, and I decided, what is Valentine's Day without a red lip? So I went ahead and I used the Colourpop Rooch. It's a deeper red lip. I felt like for what I was going for, a little bit more of a dramatic look, that this was the perfect lip. So let me know what your plans are for Valentine's Day. Let me know if you use this look. Let me know if you want something a little bit more soft, or you know, you are one of those girls that goes all out for Valentine's Day. I know I like to, because it's one of the few times I do get to go out and dress up and feel good with my husband. So I definitely like to glamify myself, and this was a glam on a budget, so it's nothing better. So let me know down below, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. My name is Victoria, and I post 3 times a week, if not at least twice a week. So bear with me. I have 3 boys, I have my life, so I try to do the best as possible. But if you are ready to learn how to do this, then please keep on watching. Hey everyone. Okay, so let's get into it. First, I'm going to start off with using this E.L.F primer. It's a mineral infused primer, so it has a little bit of a silicone base, and it feels really nice on the skin. It helps your makeup to just kind of sit there really nicely, and it gives my skin some hydration, so it makes the foundation look really good. It doesn't fill in too much of the pores, but it's not too much of a problem when I use this foundation. And this is the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. I'm in this shade Desert Beige, and it's a little bit on the darker side for me, so I just dragged it down my neck. I'm using a foundation brush for this, so I'm just using it to just go all over my skin. And I've been loving using a foundation brush. That's just to kind of pack it on, and then using a beauty blender, just because I feel like it evens out, or it helps me to just blend it in a lot more seamlessly than drawing dots all over my face, because I found that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I would miss certain spots and it would look really kind of crazy. So this is my favorite concealer. You guys saw it in my favorites videos, but this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. I use it in C8 and C13. C8 is what I'm doing using right now to write I love you, because I love you guys. And yeah, that's a little heart on my chin, but I love this concealer because it really blends out so nicely. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting that darker shade on the back of my hand, because what I'm going to do is, instead of drawing it straight onto my face, I've noticed that sometimes it does look muddy, or it does look a little bit too intense. What I'll do is I'll just kind of let it warm up on the back of my hand, and then I'll use the E.L.F blending brush, the foundation brush, and I'll just go ahead and add that onto the skin, and I'll just contour and bronze with that. So what I'm using now is just the Maybelline beauty sponge. It's the Studio beauty sponge, and I just love using that stuff. I use it damp, and not that thing, but I love using it damp, and it just blends everything out so nicely. And what I'm doing now is, like I said, I'm just using that E.L.F foundation brush with that deeper shade, and I'm just gonna go ahead and contour where I need to contour, and I'm making sure now to blend it into my hairline, just so that you don't see a lighter hairline and a darker base on your skin. So I'm making sure to just kind of drag that wherever I want it to contour, doing a little bit down my nose, not too much, and then this is where I'm leaving it at. I'm gonna go back to it, but right now I'm just using my E.L.F palette, and I'm using this deep shade. It is a nice bronzing shade, and that is the St. Lucia palette. So it's a really nice, cheap, and affordable bronzer and blush duo, and both of the colors in this work perfectly for my skin tone, so I just love it. It just kind of makes it, like I said, a lot more of a bronzier look, and I feel like, you know, for Valentine's Day, you want to look bronzy, you want to look like a little bronze goddess, so this is definitely a nice palette if you're my skin tone. Now I'm just going to use the Coty Airspun and the Maybelline Fit Me. in light medium. I'm just gonna go ahead and set my face with the Maybelline Fit Me. And the reason why I like to do this after I do my bronzer, I'm not sure if you guys are wondering why, but yeah, it went all over, but I just kind of just wiped it off. But I like to use it because sometimes I find that my bronzer can get a little bit too like intimidating and a little bit too bronzy. So I like to use that because it'll just kind of even everything out and just make it a little bit more settled down, or just subtle. And now I'm just doing my eyebrows, and I love using the Colourpop pencil for that. It just gives me the perfect shade. This has been my new best friend as far as eye base concealer, and this is the L'Oreal Full Wear Concealer. You've probably heard me talk about it in other videos, but I like it just for this portion of my look. So I only like it to cut out my crease and to conceal. I have a lot of freckles on my eyelid and have a bit of a discoloration on my eyelid. So it's nothing too intense, but mostly it's the freckles. So sometimes it does mess with the look when you see a bit of freckles or like a bit of darkness. It seems like I didn't blend or something like that, but it's really just the freckle on my eyelid. But this has really helped that, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just even that out. I'm using an E.L.F flat shader brush for that, and I'm using it to carve out my brows. It's perfect. It works really nice. So it's a lot of hard work. You got to shake it off sometimes. And now I'm using the Nude Rose Gold palette from E.L.F. And sorry I'm blinding you, I totally forgot that this has a mirror on top. But I'm using that purple shade. It's the lightest pink purple shade. It sucks because this doesn't have any names to it, but hopefully you could see it in the video. But I'm using the lightest, it's like a taupe shade, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use that as a transition color because this is gonna be more of a purple look, as you can see from the beginning of the video. And I'm just using a fluffy shader brush for that, and just going, like I said, in the crease back and forth, and just really kind of just building that up. Nothing perfect. Now I'm going to that deeper shade, that deeper plum shade, and I'm just adding that into the crease with an E.L.F crease brush. This is a precision crease brush, so I really like it because it kind of just blends it in perfectly. And those two shades together work out so nicely. They blend perfectly, they blend really nicely. Now, I didn't show you what color I'm using here, but I'm using the second to last from the deepest shade. And this is a really, really beautiful, like, bluish purple shade. I love it because it really reminds me of the Anastasia color that I use from the Prism palette. It's just such a pretty color because it pulls in blue, it pulls in purple, but it's really subtle and it gives you a nice smoky look to your eye. So I've been loving this. I just went ahead and packed it all on the lid, and anywhere that I felt like I couldn't pack it on with my finger, I just went ahead and used a brush. And you'll see I'll use the E.L.F Precision, I think it's like a liner brush. Oh no, they call it the Precision Concealer brush, which is this one right here. It's a really small brush. If you look at my affordable videos brush, you'll see it more close up. But I like this for just kind of getting in that inner corner where my finger won't reach. And I'll just bring it on the inner corner and then just kind of like carve it out wherever else I need it. And I just kind of clean up with that brush as well. Now I'm going in with that deeper purple shade, and I'm just bringing that on the outer V, and I'm just kind of just deepening up the transition that I had there because this shade, the shade that I put all over my lid, was a little bit darker. So I'm just kind of intensifying the outer corners, but that's really all I'm doing. And then what I'm doing is whatever is left on the outer corner, I'm just kind of dragging it into the crease. So I don't want it to be too harsh. I'm just literally dragging whatever is left over on the corner into the crease area. And then after that, I'm going in with the lightest pink shimmer shade, and I'm just adding that into the inner corners, and it blends in really nicely. The thing about this is that the shimmers in this palette are not the greatest unless you spray them down, but I wasn't looking for too intense. I was looking for more smoky, so I went in with that nude shade, and I just put that underneath the brow bone as well. And then I'm using the Revlon Photofocus. It is a combo. It's a color stain, or a color eyeshadow stain, and then on the other side it has glitter. So I'm just using the eyeshadow portion of it to go underneath my eye. And then I'm also going to be using the glitter. Sorry, I'm like out of focus in this, but I had to get really close so that I didn't poke myself in the eye. But I'm just being really, honestly, like not too neat with it. I'm just making sure that it doesn't get underneath my eye. And I'm just using, like I said, I used both the cream and the glitter. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and add some mascara. I use the Colossal Big Shot mascara, and I really like the way that it looks, so I did a little dance. And now I'm using my VRose lashes in the shade Bambi. They're all applied, and they are such a beautiful, like, just like romantic, sexy lash. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and use my Rimmel Nude pencil, and I used it on my lower lash line because I didn't want to make it too dark. I wanted my eyes to look like they popped. And then I added some lower lash mascara. Now I'm using the E.L.F. again St. Lucia palette, and I'm just using the blush that is in there. And then I'm going in with one of my favorite drugstore highlights, and that's the Wet n Wild Catwalk palette. And I'm just using the golden shades from this just to highlight all over the place. And it pairs really nicely with the foundation, which is also Wet n Wild. And now I was like trying to figure out which, did I want to go bolder? Did I want to go like actual classic red or something deeper? And I just felt like I wanted something deeper just because it was a little bit more of a dramatic look. So this is the Colourpop shade in Rooch, Rooch. I'll link it down below in the description, as well as everything else. And then yeah, I like this because I really didn't have to line my lips, and I just kind of used that applicator to align everything. And I really enjoy the way that this look came out. This is such a nice deep red, and for my skin tone and my hair and just like everything that's me, I love it. It's a vampy red, and I love vampy red colors. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this, and please don't forget to subscribe. Love you guys. Peace.